This is the morning weather video update. This is for Friday morning, the 11th of August. I'm James Spann. Once again today, we've had some early morning thunder in scattered pockets across the state. We'll see more scattered storms later today, but we do think the storms should be fewer in number over the weekend. Let's go right to the radar composite early this morning, and you can see that batch of storms pushing through parts of central Alabama. That was the radar about 4:30. Storms coming through Birmingham, and so far I've heard of no reports of any big issues. There's been some small hail, gusty winds, but they're moving into East Alabama. And at this point, they are generally under severe limits, but they're noisy, and that's the main thing with these storms. And again, they'll continue pushing on to the east, and we could see a few additional storms pushing in here later today as this very active summer weather pattern continues across the deep south. Let's see here. I will take a look at the actual single site radar. Let's do that, which gives us a better look. And there we go. Again, you can see the storms at 5:08. We're live here, pushing into parts of East Alabama. And we'll take a look at some of the specifics here. We'll stop the loop, and you can see the band of storms approaching Anniston. And again, within this, they're under severe limits at 5:08 this morning, but they're really noisy, and that tends to wake people up for sure. The storms stretch from near, much of Shelby County and the Birmingham Metro over to Wilsonville, Columbiana, Childersburg, then curving up into northern Talladega County, Lincoln, Talladega, Highway 77 up toward Ragland and Southside. And again, the heavier band coming into Anniston and Oxford at 5:09. And again, there'll be gusty winds. There might be a little small hail, but really there's no sign of hail at this point. And also just pouring up in parts of southern Cherokee County, north of Piedmont, up around Spring Garden and Goshen. And again, there's got to give you the bigger view there. Got a few lingering showers over parts of Lawrence and Morgan County. So again, a noisy start to the day with those storms pushing through parts of East Alabama early this morning. So here's the big picture. We'll check the radar again here in a couple of minutes. And like recent days, we have the southern edge of the stronger winds aloft here across the deep south, which is odd for August. Typically, winds aloft are light and variable. But that's the reason at least the storms are moving quickly, but that's also providing some dynamic support for these rounds of storms. Temperatures are mostly in the 70s over North Alabama, low 80s for the southern counties of the state. Again, very balmy, muggy conditions. Mobile, 83. And again, we've got this odd patchwork of colors across the state concerning heat. Understand, if you're in South Alabama, everybody's going to be hot and muggy. And you got some of the counties in a heat advisory, some not, some under an excessive heat warning, but it's just good old August in Alabama. For the southern half of the state, we'll see mid-90s today with the high dew points. And once again, that heat continues back into parts of Texas. So this is the severe weather outlook today. We got a risk north of the state from Missouri up into parts of the Great Lakes. And for Alabama, we've got a marginal risk. Again, that's level 1 out of 5, the lowest risk, south of a line from near Tuscaloosa to Calera to Lake Wedowee. And the storms that develop later today will be heaviest over the southern two-thirds of the state. And again, like the ones this morning, they might produce some small hail, gusty winds. Not a major threat, no tornado concerns. This is tomorrow. Got a risk of severe storms north of the state from near Memphis up into New England. Also a couple of risks over the Great Plains states. And day 3, which is Sunday, got a risk of severe storms centered north and west of Alabama. So this is rain for the next 7 days, and the numbers are coming down. In fact, for North Alabama, not that much. And understand we are going to have scattered storms around over the weekend, but we do expect a shot of drier air for the middle part of next week for the northern half of the state, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, where those days could be days with no storms at all for North Alabama. But for the southern half of the state, the risk of scattered storms continues most days. And again, I think our friends in South Alabama could certainly use some rain. They have been hot and mostly dry, while the northern half of the state has had these rounds of storms. In fact, parts of South Alabama with 1 to 2.5 inches over the next 7 days. Another day of no tropical trouble across the Atlantic Basin, which is very odd. I mean, here we are in mid-August, and usually there's a whopper of a tropical system somewhere, but no tropical trouble for the next 2 days and not for the next 7 days. Model fans, here we go. This is the GFS. This is the 06C run, valid today at 4. And again, it's a northwest flow aloft. We're on the eastern side of the heat ridge. And again, additional storms could form later today. Now, this is the high-res HER, and it's not very bullish on anything. But again, the high-resolution models, these are the best we have. They struggle with summer convection. And so, again, we'll probably see a few storms around later today, but probably not that many. But where they do form, they could be strong. Highs today, low to mid-90s in most spots. Tomorrow, as the weekend begins, it's going to be hot and muggy, mid-90s. And there could be a few scattered storms. I know there's no green on that map, but we'll mention scattered afternoon and evening storms. And the same thing on Sunday. And I'd say the chance of any one spot getting wet both days, about 4 in 10. And most of the scattered storms coming in that noon to midnight window. Now, this is Monday. There's a deep surface low that's near Detroit with a trailing front. And you really don't see a lot on there, but there certainly could be a storm Monday afternoon, Monday night. And then Tuesday, that front slowly sags in here. And there could be a few storms on Tuesday, mainly for the southern half of the state as dry air slips into North Alabama. And then Wednesday looks kind of dry, and Thursday looks kind of dry. And we could see highs maybe slipping into the 80s, the humidity coming down for the northern half of the state. Any scattered storms in those days will likely be across the southern counties. And a week from today, this is Friday the 18th of August, that's 594 heat ring over New Mexico and West Texas. Again, we are on the eastern side of that, and moisture should begin to come back, and we'll probably see some risk of scattered storms statewide. Let's go out 10 days. This is Sunday, the 20th of August, and that heat ridge expands to include much of the central and southern U.S., and that looks kind of hot and muggy and maybe a few pop-up storms. Rain for Birmingham off the European ensemble. Good, it's not much. The models are trending drier for us. This is between now and the 26th of August. And the mean is now only between 1/2 and 1 inch as the ridge expands. Here's a look at heat levels for Birmingham, and of course your number could vary. The high today around 90, mid-90s. Tomorrow, Sunday, Monday, the notice highs dropping into the upper 80s on Tuesday and Wednesday and lows in the mid-60s by early Wednesday and Thursday morning. That's that drier air pushing in here. And that will feel pretty good, little touch of fall. But then we bounce back in the low to mid-90s for the end of next week and that following weekend. And the latest 8 to 14-day guidance, this is for August 18th through August 24th. Temperatures will likely be above average across Alabama, in fact, much of the contiguous United States. So did you look up last night about 8:30? Did you see that? Again, you can see a fireball rolling through the southern sky. Had a lot of folks getting their camera out, had enough time to get video of this. And again, most likely this is a meteor, a bolide, a very bright meteor. There's also an outside chance it might be some space junk. I'm waiting to hear from Bill Cook. Bill is with NASA up in Huntsville, and he knows more about these things than anybody else. But that was seen all across the deep south last night. Again, that was about 8:30 Central Time. And a couple of quick sunset shots on the Gulf Coast. It was gorgeous. I've had some great weather down there. So let's go back to the radar. Again, we're live at 5:16 a.m., and you can see what's happening there. We've got a band of noisy storms pushing through East Alabama. They're all under severe limits. And again, a reminder, severe criteria, it's two things, large hail and damaging wind. The hail has to be 1 inch in diameter or larger, and the wind has to be 58 miles per hour or greater. And that's it. And these storms are under severe limits. And yes, I know they're noisy. And I know there's a lot of lightning. And the rain is really heavy. But again, they're under classic severe limits. You can see some of the heaviest rain is falling up in Cherokee County, southeast of Center and Leesburg. over toward Spring Garden, along and south of US 411, north of Piedmont. And big storms have moved on into Anniston and Oxford, Sacs, Alexandria, and storms pushing down toward Chehaw State Park, and they're approaching Ashland and Lineville in Clay County. And they extend down into Talladega County from the city of Talladega down to Childersburg, and then back into Shelby County. We've got additional storms there in progress from Chelsea right down Highway 11 toward Alabaster, County Road 11, and then down toward Montevallo and Wilton. And I know these things are aggravating, wakes everybody up, but again, I've not heard that many problems. And again, with the soil conditions we have, with the saturated soil, keep in mind some trees could come down pretty easily, especially weakened or damaged trees with sub-severe winds, with winds of 35, 40 miles an hour. Had a couple of tree reports down this morning, but again, those storms should be in Georgia fairly soon, and hopefully the morning commute won't be that bad. So that'll do it for the morning video update today. We let's see. This morning I will be at Early Autistic Services, a big group of kids there in Birmingham. That'll be a lot of fun to see them. And don't forget, tomorrow morning it's a book signing in Aniana. We will be there from 9 to noon. Barking Bee Coffee on 2nd Avenue West. It's new. Their grand opening is today. We'll be there tomorrow, 9 to noon. So Blount County, we have a lot of fun at those things. We'll have the books, hats, shirts. It'll be great fun. And, of course, we invite you to watch us on television this evening, ABC 3340 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and God bless.